There's plenty to discuss about what's happening around the country and around the world, and I have to say, especially in politics. One man who's very close to the action is Senator Alex Antic. I'm delighted to say he joins me now. Senator, welcome to Bernardi.
Thank you,
Love
Cory.
to have you on.
Thank you.
Let's kick it off with your clean sweep of the South Australian Liberal Party's internal elections on the weekend. In effect, these are my words, you've purged the power base of wets and who peddled influence at whatever political price was necessary. You've reclaimed the grassroots, member-driven organisation as it should be.
Well, Cory, thank you. They are your words. I would see it slightly differently in the sense that but what has happened in the Liberal Party, I think, is a little bit of a renaissance in conservative values, I think, and pushing the party back to where it should be, back to where it was many years ago. And in fact, what really has happened has been the encouragement of people that have perhaps been frustrated or have joined minor conservative parties to come back.
I might know a few
well,
of
you
those,
probably do know a few of them. They're all lovely people, of course. But to come back and join the fold inside the Liberal Party in order to make sure that good, solid centre of right of centre people there to support others and to become candidates themselves and to do, I think, the sorts of things that Menzies envisaged, which is taking all the non-Labor parties and they may be slightly different in view, Libertarians, Conservatives, whatever it may be, but all finding a home for them under the Liberal Party banner, and we saw that this weekend.
Okay, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
yes,
your predecessors seem to want to shrink the party in order to maintain control over it. You've taken a different approach. You've been out there actively recruiting, trying to enlist thousands of new members. You've been criticised for that as a branch stacker, and some of your members have been denied membership on the basis of their religious affiliation.
Yeah, look, well, I mean, what I would say about that, I don't know what how you'd characterise the last 10 years or so, but I think the pool had shrunk a little bit in the sense that we were seeing the influence, I think, of, or the presence of parliamentary staffers on our state council, which I don't think is a healthy thing. I don't think that should be a limited class on our state council, our most important body. So what we've tried to do is show everyday people, everyday Conservatives, the quiet Australians, how they can magnify their voice in politics, which I say is by joining us inside the Liberal Party. It's one of the only two teams on the field, Cory, as they say. It's like a game of footy. There's a red team and a blue team, and the Liberal Party is the one that people's voices can be magnified with a membership-led organisation. So they're finding that now. They're turning up to meetings, they're going to AGMs, they're voting for like-minded candidates, and those people are now populating both our state council and our state executive, which is our board, and they will become parliamentarians and take our message, the Quiet Australians message, Conservative message to Parliament.
All right, you're not the only one with a blueprint for reform. Your factional opponent, the wet Simon Birmingham, released his blueprint for reform, which undermined everything that he's done for the last decade or so in the party. What did you make of it?
Once again, Cory, I'll leave the commentary to you about that. But look, I haven't read the document, I have to confess.
It's that important?
Well, no, it came in on Friday just before the AGM, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. I saw it was reported in the press, and I see there's been commentary about it. But look, the reality is this, that it's not really for Simon to tell the Liberal Party how to reform. It's not for me to tell the party how to reform. It's not for you. It's not for anyone. It's for the members to do that. And there is a process in play. That's already happened. There's already been one tranche of very, very sensible constitutional reforms, which have been just modernising, getting things sorted out. There's a bit more work to do. There's always room to improve. So I think that process should be done by the members, not by members of Parliament.
All right. Can I jump to a bigger reform agenda and the granddaddy of them all, former US President Donald Trump? He's been indicted. He's using this to his advantage. We saw his historic mugshot, which I thought was extraordinary. Taken at a courthouse in Georgia last Thursday. He's shared it to his Twitter profile. That's reactivated. Now there's mugshot merchandise, T-shirts, posters. He's raised $7 million or something like this. Is he revolutionising US politics?
I think there's no doubt about that. I think as much as people want to scream and shout about Donald Trump, he has absolutely disrupted the political process over the last 5 years or thereabouts. I always say he's a bit like P.T. Barnum, this guy. People, he's a showman. He loves to sort of show where the problems are, and he's done it again. That interview with Twitter with Tucker Carlson on Twitter has now had something like 260 million views. He didn't do the Republican primary, which had 12 million views on Fox. And this guy's got the gift. I mean, he is the absolute master of the show. Ron DeSantis has learnt the hard way how not to tackle the master. I think, look, my personal view is all of this is having a perverse outcome for those that are pushing this agenda. I think this is making him stronger. It's raising money, and ultimately, I think he is going to be the next president of the United States.
Yeah, I think it looks like that, and I support it 100%, as you know. All right, the Liberal Party did have a phenomenal victory on the weekend in the Victorian state seat of Warrandyte. Liberal candidate Nicole Werner smashed the competition. She got a 71.1% two-party preferred vote. There was no Labor candidate in there, but it's still a pretty good result.
Yeah, it is a good result. And look, she's a great candidate by the sounds of it. On paper, I don't know her, but what I hear about her, she's a good, solid Conservative. She's obviously someone from a multicultural background, someone who resonates with the community. And guess what? That's the sort of person that we should be running around out there, and they're the sort of people that are going to come up through the South Australian division as well as a result of the work we're doing. And this is a good thing, not a bad thing. These are people who share our message, who resonate with the community, rather than just another political staffer.
Yeah, okay. Now, speaking of messaging, Labor's got a misinformation bill. It's come under fire by human rights and civil liberties groups that have claimed it threatens free speech and democratic rights. It really is an imposition on communication for the average punter.
Yeah, it is. And look, cliches, be damned. We use them all the time. Orwellian is the one that comes up so often and probably overused, but this one really is. Actually earlier on in the year, I had a Freedom of Information application came in, which showed very clearly that the Department of Home Affairs were engaging the services of a foreign PR company to help locate posts from Australians and then refer them back to the social media companies. Both companies were, of course, foreign-owned in order to have those posts removed or sanctioned or quietened or, whatever. What this bill actually is going to do, and by the way, I should say we now know that many of those posts were actually truthful. What this bill is now seeking to do is to really codify that practice in a sense. Huge fines for social media companies, public people like you with your, with your online presence as well. Not that you would ever say anything that was untrue, but that's the point. The point is what is untrue and what is a mistruth or a misinformation in this bill is what the government says, which, by the way, has been wrong many, many times, Cory. And if people aren't worried about this, they should be. What I am pleased to say, though, is that this has caused a backlash. And I think this bill is it is as bad as you say, and I think it's going to need a lot of revision and I would say scrapping and throwing in the bin because we don't need the government telling us what's true and what's not.
Quickly, my concern, though, is that Labor and the Greens can team up and get anything through the Parliament. So Labor really have to have an about-face on this, or the Greens have to be serious about saying they believe in civil liberties.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are the chances of that?
Likely none.
Absolutely none. So, look, this is a problem. I think our side of politics are opposing it, which is good. But this bill needs to be shot down urgently.
Yeah, the Australian people need to get up behind it.
They really do.
Senator Antic, thank you so much, and congratulations on an amazing effort this weekend. Well done.
Thanks, Cory.